Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I thought we would do a video on the dev server for Update Fire and Ice, going through some of the extras which are around the place. So stuff that I generally won't cover in other videos, just because maybe it's not worth it, or maybe it's nice to kind of lump into this one. Starting off, we have some updated models when it comes to the game. The IS-1 gets an updated model, and then also the IS-2 gets an updated model as well. So I think generally they look really nice, and also this is probably because they're coming to Enlisted, or already in Enlisted, in the case of this big Mamba Jamba. The other thing as well is they haven't forgotten about the Chinese, so the Chinese ones are also done up, so they have some updated models of their own, which is really nice, so that's really awesome. Another vehicle that has an updated model is the Befehlswagen Yagda Panther. You can see the Zimmerit on the front of it, and also on the sides. It looks absolutely beautiful, and its brother as well has the updated model as well. So all of these look super nice. They've done a great job when it comes to them, so really good work in general. There are also two new locations and missions. One is the Arctic location for ground battles, and also the Rocky Canyon location for aircraft battles, which is going to be for arcade. The Rocky Canyon is actually based on the Grand Canyon, which is pretty cool, so all really nice to see. Another thing to also note is they're doing a ton of changes to Enduring Confrontation. The main one which is going on is the fact that they are making all the pillboxes in ground battles to be replaced by tanks, and also there's going to be standardization of tanks by BR and also armor for different matchmaking ranks and nations. Also, ground vehicles of rank 7 have been added to the templates for ground battles and convoys, so they're really amping up the work in Enduring Confrontation, which is really good to see as they go forward. The G91Rs, all the modifications for those, or just basically the standard G91s, they get access to separate bomb drops, so that's super cool. Really nice to see that in general for the vehicle itself. So you can see here it has the 500 pounders, so it should drop them independently, which is super nice on the vehicle, and hopefully it does it with all of the other ones as well. And the Key 67s, specifically the one Ko and the one Otsu, you can find them here. You'll see that they are now unspaded, even though I've spaded them all before. That's because these ones, they've actually added the 800 kilo naval bomb. So instead of just having the 3 250s, you can now just bring the 800 kilo, which is the number 80 mod 1. This is the one which actually has quite a lot of TNT equivalent. You've got to remember there's like an AP 800 kilo bomb as well, so you always want to get the one with the more TNT equivalent, which is this one, and it has the Shimose, or Shimose, or however you say, a TNT equivalent or explosive type in it, sorry. So the Key 67s get a little bit of a buff. Hopefully they've fixed their turrets as well. We'll see once we've played them. Just to give you an idea, so you've got the 800 here, and then also the naval bomb of the 500 here, and also you have the 800 here for the B7. So it's just similar to that on the Key 67s, which is lovely to see. The Su-17M4 gets a nerf, unfortunately. What they are doing to it is they are removing the H-23M rocket, so that basically means that it won't get access to that, which kind of sucks. They did a bunch of bug fixes on a ton of aircraft which are around the place, so nothing too crazy. At the end of the day, just a few little bug fixes here and there. And when it comes to secondary weapon customization, so loadouts, they've added them to a ton of different vehicles. So the AV-8A, the AV-8C, the two Buccaneers, the two Harrier GRs, so the GR1 and 3, and also the F-105D, along with the Votor 2A IDF-AF and the Votor 2B as well, are all getting the secondary weapon customization, along with pretty much all the new vehicles, which is super nice. For naval, they're doing something which is quite impressive actually. The first shot delay has been removed for the First World War and Interwar Blue Water ships, so you don't have to wait for it to fire, which is really nice, that little time period between it. And the fire control system preserving the calculated lead point The calculated lead marker preserves when a player unselects the target and then selects the target again. If a player selects a new target and starts range finding, the lead marker for a previous target is reset. So basically it will keep the lead marker for the previous thing that you had highlighted, which is super nice to see. They've also changed the Shockwave effect from HE shells on hulls of coastal fleet vessels. That has been corrected, so boat hulls which are made of wood now, or steel, so stuff such as this one right here, the new Hugin, which is coming in for Germany. Now they don't have complex internal architecture are now more susceptible to damage from the shockwave of a medium caliber HE shell. So basically they'll get blown up more. Is basically the way that it's going to go. Another thing that they've added is this actually really cool piece of extended description. So every single piece on naval vehicles, such as the main caliber, you can see here, it talks about what happens with a general turret and also with the bridge. And what they've done is they've just added a ton of extra information on the actual X-ray themselves. This is for all boats and all ships. It isn't just for certain ones. So this is really positive. It just means that it just gives you extra information. And if you don't want extra information, guess what? You can just turn it off and it doesn't have to be there. So that's really cool. Really glad that they added that in. Hopefully they continue this for ground forces and aviation forces as well. As we've talked about many times, more information is always power. They've also added some new collections in the setup. This one is the submachine gun one. I don't have the PPS, so I don't know where that's from, but I'll have to have a look. So they're adding more collections in, as always, to these things. And my guess is they're actually going to expand the collections for certain things as well, since they're going to move in. And also, AI-controlled ships will now launch torpedoes at each other and also at players. So you've got to watch out for the torpedo barrages that may be coming in from some of the AI ships, especially in Naval Realistic where they're around. They've also changed sounds again because somebody has to justify a paycheck. And basically what they've done is sound of explosion, hits, cannon shots of ground vehicles and air defense guns have received more dynamic and sharpness, as well as punch in the low frequency range. So just to give you an idea on something like the M1A2 SEP Tusk, which is the new Abrams which is coming in, which literally just crashed my game. So never mind. So on something like the M1A2 SEP Tusk, you can hear the gunshot and see the difference with it, with the main caliber gun. So it's very meaty compared to before, and that's one of the larger changes that they've added to the sound of the update. So it's not just indoors, it's also outdoors as well, which is pretty cool. So you can hear it all around. And it does sound incredibly punchy as we go forward. Now remember, when it comes to this stuff, not everything is ready to go, not everything is sorted, but these are some of the changes that are going on. In the files, there's a bunch of other stuff that we'll talk about in a separate video. There's a new ship and also some new decorations that are coming in, so that's really cool as well to see, as always. And of course, the wonderful explosions look pretty wonderful. And you can see even the artillery has got a little bit of a sound rework as well. So once again, everything changing, sounding a lot more meaty, sounding a lot more bassy, and having a bit of fun with it as always. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank Forge, Siegebreak, Carrion Crow, Nicholas Richardson, Elove Goat, Pyman, Winter Scientist, Merciless Reaper, Orange Tail, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, and also Sem Arslan, Wilkski, Uncle Bean, Derek R., Bareen, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.